Outdoors Delmarva covers everything outdoors,
including real hunting and fishing situations involving wildlife.
We try to keep it tasteful each and every week, but discretion is advised.
Now, enjoy the show. This week on Outdoors Delmarva.
We're going waist deep as we join volunteers working to give a boost to our coastal bays. Like any other harvest, this one has a short window for achieving success.
Then, a day on the bay is a great day on its own, but it's even better when your catch is helping people battling a life-threatening illness. We'll cast away cancer.
And we put the viewer venture cam in the hands of some local firefighters who spent an off day offshore in pursuit of tuna.
Right now on Outdoors Delmarva.
There he is.
Hi everybody, thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Captain Willie Dykes. We'll be checking in with my partner Mike Parker in just a few minutes. First this week, we're heading out on a road trip to the far southern reaches of Delmarva. If you've never been to Northampton County, Virginia, it's just as lush in coastal bay beauty as any other portion of our area. But as we found out, the future of this natural beauty lies just beneath the water's surface. For about a dozen volunteers with the Nature Conservancy, a trip to the outskirts of Oyster, Virginia was a trip worth making.
We've got well over 1,000 acres of eelgrass in South Bay where we're working, and we're trying to put a little bit more grass into some of the bays to our north, like Spider Crab Bay and Hog Island Bay.
On a sunny late morning last week, a short boat ride onto the South Bay would be akin to a farmer taking a short tractor ride out to his fields.
So we get a lot of people out here helping to do this. So without all these hands to pick this grass in this narrow window we have while there's seeds available, we wouldn't be able to get as many seeds as we do. Pick, 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 pick. You get a big handful of seeds, shove it in the bag, which is a little bit tricky.
Called the largest seagrass restoration project in the world, the volunteers will be looking and digging for this, eelgrass.
See a few seeds in there? This is what we're after.
A once plentiful aquatic plant species that took a near fatal blow back in the early 1930s when disease weakened the plants to begin with, followed by the knockout punch that would be the hurricane of 1933, which altered the Delmarva landscape forever.
It makes me feel like I'm a part of something special that'll maybe in 10, 20 years be something bigger.
What they're dealing with here is a crop unlike any other, because submerged beneath a few feet of salt water, it's a different world.
We've got blue crabs that are finding this. They're having better survival rates, presumably because they can hide in this eelgrass bed. It's a place for juvenile fish to come hide. It's a place for other sport fish like some puppy drum or speckled trout to come to sort of hide and also to try to prey on some of the little fish that are out here. We have some waterfowl that are showing up out here. Historically, brant up and down the seaside grazed on eelgrass. And when the eelgrass beds disappeared, the brant populations plummeted. Now that the eelgrass is back here, there's more brant hanging out around here eating that.
Among the acres and acres of lush green vegetation, one can also find a variety of marine life, like this bay scallop.
Just squared it out.
Occurring naturally for only a few weeks each late spring, it's a short window of opportunity for this unique harvest.
In places like here, you can build a critical mass. Once it gets to a certain point, and I think out here, it's there, it almost takes off by itself. You couldn't stop it then, and that's kind of what we want.
These wetsuit-clad environmentalists work in 5 to 6 hour shifts, bagging as many plants as they can, and then taking them back to large holding tanks on land.
The tanks are going to hold this grass while the seeds inside mature and ripen. And as these seeds get ready, they'll actually pop out of the shoots that we're picking today. The seeds will settle down to the bottom of the tanks. And over the next few weeks, we'll be able to sieve out some of that grass material that we don't particularly want and then retrieve the seeds from the bottoms of the tanks. Then this fall, before the seeds germinate, we can take these seeds and we can use the seeds that we've collected today to seed some of the seaside bays to the north of us.
And while this project is already proving to be a success, benefiting the ecosystem, for the volunteers, the benefits run deeper than just a day of snorkeling.
Being able to actually physically get your hands in it and help make a difference is a really wonderful feeling.
I don't want to say it's a little overwhelming, but there's so much. It just really feels good for us to be able to come out and volunteer and help.
A good way to spend a day, good a way as I can think of.
The success of this effort is largely due in part to the volunteers that come out here year after year. Every seed that they pick is helping to ensure that this continues to be the largest successful seagrass restoration effort in the world.
We'll be following up on this story when the eelgrass is planted later on in the fall. For more information on this restoration project, go to outdoorsdelmarva.com.
Coming up next on Outdoors Delmarva, it's a day on the Chesapeake Bay where anglers are working on more than just filling up the cooler. Come aboard as we cast away cancer. But first, did you know? The bay scallop has up to 100 tiny eyes that line the rim of its shell, but they're not very advanced. What simple function do they serve? The answer when we come back.
Outdoors Delmarva is sponsored by Shorts Marine, Shooter's Choice, and Goodies Marine. Outdoors Delmarva will be right back.
It'd be nice if you'd snap for us.
Did you know? The bay scallop has up to 100 tiny eyes around the rim of its shell, but these simple eyes are only capable of sensing light and dark, such as the shadow of a predator.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Mike Parker and had a great chance to be part of an exciting event this weekend, the second annual Castaway Cancer Fishing Tournament benefiting 21st Century Care, which is doing some great things right here in our own community. Well, this is a fishing event that is growing in popularity each year, and of course, it all starts out on the water. It just might be the first time on the show we've actually been closer to the western shore than the eastern shore of the bay, but from fishing reports, if we were going to find some rock, it was going to be at Calvert Cliffs.
And we're going to do a little live lining for some stripers, hopefully. Probably schoolie fish, about 20 inches, 25, that'd be awesome. We just got treble hooks. We rig up live spot. We just hope the rockfish swallow them.
With some simple rigging, keeping the spot alive and kicking, it's a meal a hungry rock is known to crave, and a method that's less about feel than it is about just keeping watch on the gear.
Just leave the bail open and let them swim. When it starts going really fast, we got a fish.
But when the morning bite just doesn't pan out at the gas docks, it's on to the next few spots. But finally, our live lining pays off. A slower than average morning bite isn't what you're after when you're competitively fishing, and the absence of any keeper rocks has us looking to other species. Further down the bay, not far from the target ship, some bottom rigging around a rock pile becomes our ticket to catch some feisty, if not overly impressive, hardhead. But when the biggest one of the day spits the hook just inches from the boat, it's a wake-up call to start using the net just in case. It's back to Nanticoke Harbor, where other anglers have fared better.
We got one to weigh.
Weighing in some nice-sized rock and perch.
5.8
$7.75.
Strangely, though, not a single boat landed a bluefish today, leaving that category empty. But for the organizers of the tournament, this day of fishing is filling hearts with hope.
And the goal and purpose of our fundraiser is to help community members who have cancer, who are struggling with financial difficulties for housing, food, medical expenses. So fishing is something, recreational activity that a lot of people like and enjoy. It's something you can do with your family and friends. And so we chose to do that because we felt that that would, be a great way to try and raise some money for the foundation.
2.10 pounds.
Back at the scales, more of the day's catch is arriving as anglers try to stay in contention.
Beer can mouth.
We did pick up one rock and a few hardhead and perch, but nothing to brag about.
Nice rock there. So there's a couple rock, hardhead. Got some perch, not a whole lot, 8-inch roll, So, not too bad.
Goes to Robbie Noble. As the winners were announced, it was clear that more than a few of these guys had managed to find some great fish and support something even greater.
Get outdoors, Delmarva.
Still to come on Outdoors Delmarva. It was the catch that kept a group of Delaware anglers wanting to head back offshore for more. Were they able to strike lightning twice?
Don't go anywhere. Outdoors Delmarva will be right back.
It's gonna float. Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Mike Parker, back here at the Nanticoke Harbor in Wicomico County this week, just wrapping up the second annual Castaway Cancer Fishing Tournament. Had a great time out on the Chesapeake Bay, but kind of sticking with the fishing theme this week, it wasn't our only trip out on the water. I also set out from Lewis, Delaware with a group of guys trying to, say strike lightning twice with a pretty big shark tail. It is a story that started with a phone call followed by an email, both of which ended up with a wow. This photo was taken on Memorial Day when the crew of the Pirate King II, based out of Lewis, Delaware, reeled in a 487-pound thresher shark and brought it back to the docks. Fast forward 4 days later, when some of the lucky anglers and some new friends invited me along for the ride.
Real nice. It's not 95 degrees. We actually got a good little northerly breeze today. We ought to have a good drift. Good for sharking.
As they headed back out in hopes of repeating their holiday weekend hookup, which starts with a pretty involved setup.
We're using whole mackerel and mackerel fillets, and the rig is a 12-aught Big River hook, haywire twisted to 220-pound single strand wire, and then we have some 300-pound mono that's connected to the swivel, about 14 foot of mono connected right up to the rods. 2 rods with 120-pound braid on it and 2 rods with 50-pound braid on it.
About 7 or 8 miles out, the only thing you can really still make out on shore are the towers at the Indian River Bridge. Now drifting over the deep sea below, with the mackerel already getting a good soak, the crew turns up the effort to attract sharks, which means chumming things up. Now, if you've never seen it, a good chum can be anything that creates a slick of oil and blood in the water, usually chopped up fish from a previous catch, frozen into a block and left to slowly dissipate off the back of the boat.
Chum bucket number 2.
Today, we're also adding a slow drip of Menhaden milk and oil. And a big surprise that Captain Terry just happened upon, courtesy of a friend who's a butcher.
The old school trick, that's all.
Something's wrong here. We're feeding beef to fish.
Lovingly known today by the crew as the meat cage.
Put a little bit more chum in the water. It works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
It's a waiting game. Hours of waiting, followed by minutes of sheer pandemonium.
Little flat fish.
So it's a multi-species trip. to help occupy the time while you're waiting for the shark bite.
But not to prolong this story, unfortunately, these tiny catches, including flounder and sea bass, would be the only ones of the day. And despite high hopes, the sharks just didn't want to bite. And the 487-pound Memorial Day thresher will stand alone as the catch this week, setting the crew of the Pirate King 2's early high water mark for the remainder of the summer sharking season.
So the guys weren't able to recreate that moment of bringing in another 400-plus pounder, but you know what? We did enjoy a full day of anticipation out there, and that's a lot of what shark fishing is about. And I guarantee you, if the guys bring in another big thresher, you'll see it right here.
And now, it's time to visit with an old friend. Here's this week's Scorchy's Corner Classic.
People are more fascinated by birdhouses than our birds, and that's good news for Jim and Dora Wallace of Dover. The Wallaces make birdhouses, not just your ordinary run-of-the-mill birdhouses, but designer birdhouses.
I got another one here for you.
We're really enjoying doing it. I love to paint them, you know. Sometimes I spend 2 days on one.
The Wallace's creations were originally intended to be fancy wren houses, but you'd better believe they are now not just for the birds. Scorchy Taws wandering our Delmarvelous land for WBOC News.
Coming up next, it's a summer job that will definitely get somebody outdoors, Delmarva. Meet the winners of this year's Host Our Coast contest.
Don't go anywhere. Outdoors Delmarva will be right back.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Captain Willie Dykes. Imagine getting paid for doing stories on the outdoors. Well, Mike Parker and I actually do. But for one young person, their summer is about to get a whole lot better. Meet the winner of the coolest job on the coast. There was a buzz in the air recently when we caught up with the organizers of the Host Our Coast contest, hanging out at Mackey's Bayside Bar and Grill in Ocean City. After all, they were here to crown a winner.
Oh, I'm so excited. This is the announcement party for Host Our Coast, which is an online travel journalism contest that we run through Delight, Delmarva Low Impact Tourism Experiences. Tonight we announced the winner for Season 3.
Last year, my experience was amazing.
The winner applies with a 60-second video telling us why they want to host our coast. If they win, they get $15,000 and a free place to stay at the beach. The job is every day they do what you guys do at WBOC. Go out and tell stories about Delmarva every day.
As we know all too well here at Outdoors Delmarva, the challenge for the new hosts won't be to find interesting activities to explore. It's making the stories compelling and forming a bond with the viewers of these online journal entries.
One of the coolest things we did last year was go crabbing with a waterman named Bubby Coley.
Like I said, everything's got its good days and bad days, but they're mostly good days out here.
Yeah, we got seasick.
And now, the moment of truth.
The 2011 Host Our Coast host, Ryan Brooks.
I expect to find some things that I've never heard of before. Those always get me going.
Get outdoors, Delmarva.
Coming up next on Outdoors Delmarva, the viewer Venture Cam is back and in the hands of some of Worcester County's bravest. We'll see if the guys can reel in the tuna, plus your latest viewer pictures.
Outdoors Delmarva viewer pictures are sponsored by North Bay Marina. Outdoors Delmarva is sponsored by Shorts Marine, Shooter's Choice, and Goodies Marine.
It's time now to take a look at some of the videos and pictures sent in by our own Outdoors Delmarva viewers.
preparing for the offshore adventure.
And we begin with some viewer venture cam video taken by several members of the Ocean City Fire Department. The guys departed from Indian River Inlet and spent the day aboard the Blue Bayou with Captain Del Baker.
Walk to the front of the boat. Mate David Peterson did plenty of work to get 6 rods baited up and in the water. And after a few hours of trolling, well, this trip offshore paid off big time when the yellowfin tuna started nailing the rigs.
Say hi to WBOC, Jeff.
Captain Willie and Mike, thank you.
Cover Michael Ellingsworth, Mo Cropper, and Jeff Apparence all worked as a team to boat a big tuna for each.
It just goes to show you, these firefighters work hard, and as this viewer venture video proves, they play hard too. Way to go, guys.
On behalf of the team from Blue Bayou, thank you, Captain Willie and Mike Parker. We had an awesome day today. Wish you guys were with us. Caught some yellowfin, had some great angling go on. We did some great fishing today. We were near the Baltimore and brought home some nice yellowfin. So, catch you next time. Thank you, WBOC.
And now on to this week's pictures.
We start with a shot sent in by a youngster from Sussex County. 9-year-old Ridge Ritter was fishing by the Coast Guard station at Indian River when he found this starfish. He took the opportunity to take a quick picture, then released it back into the water. Thanks, Ridge.
Cindy Black from Milton has been keeping tabs on some turkeys hanging around her area. These jakes were on the trail of a hen who, at this point in the year, Willie, apparently weren't too interested in the boys. But a nice shot, Cindy.
Congratulations to Gabrielle Pickens from St. Michaels, Maryland. The Talbot County angler caught her first ever white perch recently on the Chetavon River while fishing aboard the Papa John.
And here's a picture close to my heart because, yep, it comes from my own cousin, Lauren Chronister, way up in York, Pennsylvania. Lauren studies fashion design at Philadelphia University and needed some turkey feathers for a pretty unique project. Well, we put a request out to our viewers on the Outdoors Delmarva Facebook page, and our buddy Justin Firth from Trapp, Maryland, came through for us with some feathers. As you can see, Lauren's using her skills to create a turkey feather dress. Pretty cool, and we'll keep you updated as this project continues. We love sharing your outdoors videos and photos here on the show, so please keep them coming. Just email me at mparker@wboc.com or post them on the Outdoors Delmarva Facebook page. And Willie, I'm already thinking that dress could probably be a pretty good fit for the old Miss Outdoors pageant up there in Dorchester County next year.
That looks like it could be a real trendsetter, Mike. Until then, for Mike Parker, I'm Captain Willie Dykes reminding you to get outdoors, Delmarva.